When we moved to Flagstaff, we bought property and we had goals of actually building, hopes of making things happen. Well, we end up in 4 different rentals, pretty far from each other. And to make things worse, the family doesn't feel like they're connected. You know, everything's kind of falling apart. All of our plans. I mean, we're just strung out. Like I'm verging on the point of just mental exhaustion because there's constant grind.
What I didn't expect was to feel isolated and feel separate.
Christine and Cody are on horrible terms. Horrible terms. Horrible terms. I'm not shocked by this at all, like even remotely. Someone is spilling their guts to Us Weekly, and I'm here for it, you guys. And I want y'all to know that I am living for Christine's cameos. I'm living for her vulnerability. I am living for the shade that Cody's been throwing on his cameos. I shared a clip with you guys about 2 days ago of Cody, and he was like talking about like, I like to share with sister wives. And you could just like hear the angst in his mouth. Like you could just tell he was so angry.
From sister wives, just saying hi. I guess you guys are best friends, and that's awesome. It's awesome to have a best friend. Probably call each other every day, share things with each other, everything that's happening, all the gossip, and every thought that you've got. That's something great to have. Validation from a best friend. I've got some friends, love having friends, close friends. I like doing that with wives too. Just having closeness with my wives, that kind of back and forth, that whole sharing thing, it's kind of special. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. A lot of peace and love from me and the sister wives.
Like so frustrated that Christine was like out there being happy. Cody's like a simple guy to figure out. If you've been following the show for years and a fan of this channel, you know that Cody has a lot of things that Cody likes, and Cody likes to get his way, and Cody likes to have what he wants. And you know, when Cody doesn't get what he wants, he gets really moody and really grumpy. And the last several years, he's been so moody on the show, so angry, so frustrated. I mean, for 2 or 3 years, he's been telling these wives, just leave. If you are so unhappy, just leave. And now they're leaving, and now he's mad. Imagine being mad that your wives are staying, being mad that your wives are demanding that you actually be nice to them, and then when they finally leave, you're mad that they left.
And it's been hard for years. Okay, that's not even true. It's been hard for Cody and I for years. A little bit of distance for Cody and I is okay. Just seeing him for a couple of hours a week isn't enough. Things are just hard at home when he's there. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. And Aspen and Mitch and McKelty and Tony and Peyton really want to be around us. And right now, I really just want to be around people that want to be around me and my girls. So that's why we're going.
Furious. So according to Us Weekly, it says that they are not on good terms. And Christine has alluded to this in her cameos. She had said in a video that I also shared with you, where she basically said that communication is kind of up and down with Cody, and it's sort of a work in progress. And this is what the source told Us Weekly. It's a new chapter for her, and she is so excited to see what the future holds, that she will never go back to Cody, and that she knows she has made the right move by calling things off. So Christine is never going to go back to Cody. She knows she made the right move, and she is much happier since leaving, even though she also said that like coming to that decision was very difficult and it came with a lot of sadness. But she's feeling very empowered since she's announced the separation. And Cody apparently does not have the same feelings. So Christine has gotten unwavering support from fans. Even people that don't even watch the show are like obsessed with this story right now. I have to tell you, I got a text message from one of my friends who's literally in the entirety of our friendship never once mentioned sister wives to me, like ever. I have been covering this on my show, on my channel. I'm sure this person watches, and And they're like, I'm obsessed with sister wives now. This whole lifestyle is so wild. And I'm like, girl, I got a catalog here. Get invested. This family, it's like a train wreck, but then you also are cheering the wives on. And now I feel like the tides have turned. We're done being sad for Christine, and we're now like, go Christine, you can do this. Like, we don't want to like egg her on and be like, yes, way to dump his booty, but also say like, yes, we're sorry that this didn't work out for you, but we're so glad and happy and excited that you have chosen yourself, you have chosen your kids, and you're doing what's right for yourself. Empowered, right? She's getting so many amazing comments everywhere on social media. Like, people are so happy and they're so like inspired by her. People that are in this world that are stuck are inspired watching Christine leave. There's a lot of people watching what she's doing right now. And this is what makes Kody mad. He hates, this is what the source says. He hates that Christine is showing off now, showing how happy she is to not be with him anymore. They're not on good terms right now because of her decision to leave him. He's mad at Christine for leaving, but he was the man who literally made it impossible for Christine to stay. He was degrading to her. He was mad at her for killing the one house idea. He got frustrated at her for getting into Robyn's head. Anytime Christine came to him with a grievance about anything, he was like at her throat. He told her that they weren't going to move to Utah. He downplayed any concerns or any frustrations she had ever felt in their marriage. When she talked about being the basement wife, he completely negated that and gaslit her and said that's not even true. That's not what happens. She's twisting the story to make it seem like everything was worse than it was. He never ever takes responsibility for anything. Anyways,
I don't care anymore. I don't enjoy the relationship anymore because it feels like a constant fight.
Well, it feels like most of the times when we meet at home or whatever, there's always this lack of respect for the values of others. So, and I'm just guilty as everybody else. Sometimes I don't want to hear an idea. I don't care, sometimes.
Then why are we here? Why are we doing this?
this is what the source also says. Christine knows that he'll eventually have to get past his moodiness since they have children together and eventually have to figure out how to co-parent amicably. The really interesting thing here, though, is that the only child they have left to co-parent is Truly. Truly's 11, so obviously she has to work with Kody for 11 years on that. But her older kids, they don't need her to parent them in the way that they need two parents together. I'm sure her older kids are probably a mixture of sad and also happy. I think her girls, particularly Isabel and Gwendolyn, noted that she was so unhappy for such a long time. I remember when the end of the season happened last year, Isabel, there was the whole thing about the surgery, and he was like making her say like, you should go there alone. And I remember at the end of the season, she was like liking comments about, you know, how strong her mom was and like what a crap dad he was for doing that. And then she made this post on her Instagram about how much she loved her mom and how like brave her mom was and what a great mother she was. Even though Isabel liked her dad's statement about how, you know, he still admired and loved her, I don't know how close the girls are to their dad anymore. A bunch of you had noticed even last season that when Kody came to the house, it was almost like Gwendolyn and Isabel couldn't get further away from him as possible. I think there had been a lot of unhappiness and uneasiness, and maybe her daughters were being like encouraging her and showing her like, Mom, you don't have to live like this. So Kody, you know, is moody, he's frustrated, he's irritated, and Christine is happy. She's feeling like life is more simple. She said that in her cameo, like, I can't believe life could be this simple. She made this statement. She said, the decision was a long time coming. I feel like a much better person divorced than I ever did, and life is so great. I just hope that Kody and I will remain friends during all of this because we're still really communicating with each other and stuff. And I mean, good and bad days, don't get me wrong. Kody's mad at Christine for leaving. I have a little piece of advice for Kody, and this is just my 2 cents. I'm not a polig. I'm not a poligcation, and I'm not poligging with them, but I'll say this. If you want to have a relationship with your wives. You cannot pin them against each other. You cannot demand that they not have thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You cannot tell them to stuff down their jealousy and to, if they have a thought or a desire to do something, you can't squash it. When one wife wants something and another wife doesn't, or if they're fighting, you pin them against each other. The way that you treated your wives was just absolutely terrible. I think for years, I have been doing my best to try to paint this family and your family in a way that is like as functional as possible. But Kody, you need to do better.
I am in the depths of frustration. I am in polygamy hell.
Back to the story here is that I think that Kody, in some ways, is verbally and emotionally abusive, you guys. I feel like he's played games with them. He's done psychological games with them. I think that he's made them feel like they can't live without him. I don't know that I've ever heard about any physical altercations between Kody and the wives, but I know that in this world, it's pretty evident if you watch the show about how he speaks about his wives when they're not around, or how he blames his wives for everything, and how he's like so sick of them for having feelings. This is why polygamy doesn't work. You're not going to be able to have 4 women, share a husband, all be cool and down with their husbands sleeping around, making babies with other people, and not have like people in your ear yelling at you. They sold us a lie. They sold us a lie. This is the inevitable end of what I believe is many more to come. I think Janelle will leave. I think Meri will leave. And I think Kody is going to be desperately seeking a new wife, or 2 or 3. And then it'll be Robyn, who's the irritated, annoyed one next. But the question is what does TLC do with the show moving forward? Is this the end of Sister Wives? Or do they transition to like a show like Life After Kody? Like, who would watch a show like Life After Kody? I would watch that show. Would you? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.